Joe Cole recalls the moment Thierry Henry left him furious during a West Ham clash with Arsenal. Joe Cole is hardly someone who can complain about flair on a football pitch. Throughout his career, he built a reputation on creativity and skill. Still, the former West Ham United star admits that Arsenal icon Thierry Henry once pushed things a bit too far. Across 9 Premier League meetings with the Hammers, Henry scored 5 times. During the 2002-03 season, he tore through Glenn Roeder's side with a ruthless hat-trick at Highbury as Arsenal cruised to victory. That campaign remains painfully memorable for West Ham supporters, ending in relegation despite a squad packed with talent. While the club's dramatic Great Escape in 2007 remains a source of inspiration, when they narrowly avoided the drop, the relegation 4 years earlier stands as a warning. It proved that no team, no matter how gifted, is ever too good to go down. Cole remembers just how intimidating it was to visit Arsenal during that era. Speaking on the good, the bad, and the football podcast ahead of a recent FA Cup tie, Cole described a moment when Henry's brilliance crossed into humiliation. He recalled being enraged as Henry casually held off West Ham's defender while juggling the ball mid-run, even performing no-look kick-ups, despite Arsenal already leading comfortably. Cole admitted he respected the skill, but when you are on the receiving end, it feels like salt in the wound. He also reflected on the atmosphere at Highbury, describing it as one of the most incredible stadiums he ever played in. A lesson in relegation reality. West Ham's drop in 2003 showed how fragile Premier League status can be. That squad featured young Joe Cole alongside Paolo Di Canio, David James, Jermaine Defoe, and Trevor Sinclair. Yet even that talent wasn't enough to survive. It's a reminder that clubs battling near the bottom cannot afford complacency. A short winning streak can offer hope, but survival is never guaranteed. Why Joe Cole chose Chelsea over Arsenal. In the summer of 2003, with West Ham facing financial problems, Cole was sold. He ultimately joined Chelsea, where he would go on to win 2 Premier League titles under Jose Mourinho. Interestingly, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger reportedly had first refusal on both Cole and Michael Carrick. Manchester United were also monitoring the situation. However, Cole admitted Arsenal's squad at the time was stacked. This wasn't a rebuilding Arsenal side. It was a team packed with stars like Patrick Vieira, Gilberto Silva, Robert Pires, Freddie Ljungberg, and Thierry Henry. Breaking into that lineup would have been incredibly difficult. Meanwhile, Roman Abramovich had just arrived at Chelsea, transforming the club's ambitions. Though Chelsea had already finished 4th, Abramovich's investment changed everything. Cole explained that, once the bid was accepted, the move happened quickly. He drove to Stamford Bridge, completed negotiations within a few hours, passed his medical, and met manager Claudio Ranieri. There was also a personal element to the decision. As a child, Cole had a soft spot for Chelsea because a school friend's father used to take them to matches. Joining the club felt natural, and stepping into Stamford Bridge felt like entering the very center of the football world. Demi Akarakiri could be Everton's most exciting young prospect, even ahead of Braden Graham. Braden Graham grabbed the headlines once again after scoring a sensational goal to help Everton beat Ipswich in the FA Youth Cup on Thursday night. It marked his 16th goal in just 23 appearances this season, further underlining his reputation as one of Northern Ireland's brightest young talents. However, while Graham's finishing ability is earning plenty of praise, there is another teenager at the Hill Dickinson Stadium who deserves just as much attention, if not more. His name is Demi Akarakiri. Everton may have found a gem in Demi Akarakiri. The 17-year-old joined Everton in 2024 after being released by Arsenal, where he spent a decade developing at Hale End. Now he is beginning to show exactly why he lasted so long in one of England's most respected academies. In the dying moments against Ipswich, with Everton trailing 2-1 and just seconds remaining, it was Akira Kiri who stepped up. Deep inside his own half, under heavy pressure, he bravely took possession from Shea Pita and drove forward for one final attack. He twisted away from his marker before spreading the ball wide. Moments later, Graham found the equalizer, sparking wild celebrations. But it was Akira Kiri's composure and strength that made it possible. Why Akira Kiri might be closer to senior football. Although Graham continues to score, the match also exposed some physical challenges. The 18-year-old forward struggled at times against Ipswich's stronger defenders, raising questions about whether he is ready for the demands of Premier League football just yet. Akira Kiri, on the other hand, looks far more equipped physically. Towering in midfield and capable of covering ground effortlessly, he combines power with stamina. In the build-up to the equalizer, he released the ball from deep midfield and was inside the penalty area just 8 seconds later, barely appearing to sprint. His ability to shrug off opponents in the 96th minute of a match he started also highlights both his upper body strength and impressive endurance. According to Everton's official website, Akira Kiri believes running with the ball is his strongest attribute, and that confidence shows in his performances. Technical quality is essential at the top level, but without physical presence, it is difficult to even influence the game. For that reason alone, Akira Kiri arguably looks closer than Graham to making a senior Everton debut. Arsenal prepare for FA Cup clash with Wigan. Arsenal now turn their attention to the FA Cup fourth round, where they will host Wigan Athletic at the Emirates Stadium on Sunday evening. The Gunners were held to a 1-1 Premier League draw away at Brentford on Thursday. Although they extended their lead over Manchester City to 4 points, they would have preferred to widen the gap further. With a league trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers coming up next week, manager Mikel Arteta is expected to rotate heavily for the cup tie. Goalkeeper change expected. Kepa Arrizabalaga, Arsenal's second-choice goalkeeper, has featured in all domestic cup matches this season. He is likely to replace David Raya in goal and will aim to secure his fourth clean sheet of the campaign. Defensive reshuffle. Jurrien Timber and Gabrielmagalhaes are both expected to be rested, while Piero Hincapié could also drop to the bench as part of the rotation policy. Ben White and Riccardo Calafiori may step in at right back and left back respectively. Christian Mosquera, who impressed during a rare league start due to Williamsaliba's illness, could partner Saliba at center back. Saliba himself may be eased back in with around an hour of action to build match fitness ahead of the Wolves fixture. Midfield rotation. Christian Norgard is expected to come into the holding midfield role, allowing Martin Zubamendi a rest. Declan Rice could also be given a break following his energetic display at Brentford. Miles Lewis-Skelly might be handed an opportunity in central midfield, a role he frequently played during his academy development, even if Arteta has yet to start him there at senior level. Eberechi Eze is set to retain his place as the attacking midfielder, particularly with Kaihavertz injured and Martinodegaard doubtful after picking up a knee knock against Brentford. Odegaard was seen limping after the match and may not be risked. Eze was substituted at half-time in midweek, with Peter Crouch labelling him a passenger after the draw. The former Crystal Palace playmaker has struggled for confidence in recent months, but the FA Cup tie presents a valuable opportunity for him to rediscover form with a goal or assist against Wigan. Manchester United's summer transfer plans are expected to revolve around big-money midfield signings, potentially costing up to £100 million. However, the club is also keeping an eye on emerging young talents, and one name back on their radar is Igor Tijon. Back in 2024, United unsettled Blackburn Rovers with an approach for their highly rated teenage forward. At the time, Tijon was regarded as one of the brightest prospects in the country, and United were eager to secure his signature. Blackburn, however, refused to let him leave. Now, with Tijon turning 18 this year, a summer move appears far more realistic. Reports in January suggested United had renewed their interest, and fresh updates indicate the Red Devils are determined to stop Arsenal from winning the race for his signature. According to Team Talk, Arsenal are currently viewed as frontrunners, but United are working behind the scenes to change that. Conversations have reportedly taken place internally about launching a formal bid in the upcoming window. Liverpool, Newcastle United, and Leeds United are also monitoring the situation closely. Tijon is expected to have no shortage of offers this summer. While Arsenal may be leading the chase at present, the competition remains open. For a young player aiming to build a successful long-term career, Old Trafford could be an attractive destination, especially with Manchester United placing renewed emphasis on promoting academy talent into the first team. That said, if he does make the switch, Tijon would likely begin with the under-21 squad. At this stage of his development, he is not yet considered ready for regular Premier League football. Earlier this season, Tijon featured in England's under-17 World Cup squad, alongside Bendito Montato. So far, he has made just 3 senior appearances for Blackburn, highlighting that he is still in the early stages of his professional journey. Any move this summer would not necessarily be about immediate first-team football. Instead, it would be about long-term development. And if he proves himself good enough, Manchester United has shown in the past that opportunities will follow.